During the last few years, we've ventured into a lot of different fields, and we've had the opportunity to meet and work with a lot of wonderful people. I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Congratulations, Mr. Mickey Mouse. Congratulations to you. Congratulations, your picture show was fine. It's a hit, and we want to shake your hand. Congratulations, happy days to you. You sure brought down the house, and we hope you have a lot of success. Congratulations, Mickey Mouse.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mickey Sightings. Good to see you guys tonight. We are going to have a good time. I'm sorry about last night. I had a sinus headache all day. Susie came home from work with a sinus headache. She laid down, I laid down, and that was it. I woke up at like 8 o'clock, and she woke up at 11:30. So, yeah. Oh, my goodness. It is cold outside here in North Florida. I don't know where all the places you guys are, but I don't know how cold it is there, but it is cold in here. Pamela says, love this introduction. Adam has been in the house with a record crate. Awesome. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. So hopefully you guys are doing well. A lot of stuff going on in the world of Disney right now. Wow, it's kind of getting weird out there. If you've been watching some of the news, there's a matter of fact, Disney made Fox News this morning, and a lot of stuff out there on the internet about the proxy war going on with Disney Company. Hey, Lena, good to see you. Welcome in. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the world of Walt Disney. Oh my goodness. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's so heartbreaking to see a company that you followed all your life, see it just kind of, I don't know, imploding in different areas, and they're gonna have to they need a major course correction. And I'm glad that there are people that are on the board that have investors that have actually said, yeah, we need a course correction, because I was beginning to wonder, where are all of these people? I mean, there are not just a handful of people, there are hundreds of people that are investors, and a dozen, 2 dozen that sit on the board, not to mention all the peripheral stuff that, when is somebody going to say, it's not going right, guys, it's not going well. And so, whew, my goodness. Yep, they switched their account. That's some mod. Oh yeah. Let's see. I have to put your new channel as a moderator there, Lena. I'll have to do that. Remind me to do that. So anyway, but there's so much going on, and all the Disney has had no good press. I mean, if you since before the pandemic, it was like daily Disney disasters, and then the pandemic hit, and then it was one thing after another. And I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Part of my whole hiatus was on the channel was there was nothing real good to say, and I was really struggling with what to do with the channel. And I enjoy doing the trivia and that, but in terms of like news and stuff like that, Disney was doing so many things that I personally could not endorse and wanted to be a part of. And so I had to do a lot of soul searching in terms of what I wanted to do as far as our channel is concerned. And I came down to it and said, I want it to be Disney fun focused. and try to stay out of a lot of the politics of it, even though that is very important. And that, oh, she found it. Yay. Okay, thank you. My bride is amazing, y'all. She is absolutely amazing. And she says to tell you guys, hey, by the way, our house is so funny. We've got the fireplace going tonight, and she cooked chili for dinner. And and we have our Polynesian air wax melt going on. So between the Polynesian kind of has that Disney resort scent, plus the chili, plus the fireplace, it smells like the Wilderness Lodge in our house right now. It is like, which is, if you guys know, that's one of our favorite resorts. That and Animal Kingdom Lodge are our favorites, and I love Grand Floridian too. And so it's kind of it's kind of interesting. But I wanted to kind of get I really look at the channel, and there was a time I thought about actually disbanding the channel, and but simply because I was like, you know what, I don't know if I want to be a part of some of the stuff that they're doing. And I really thought about it, and I prayed about it, and it's like, what should I do? And I was like, well, what got me interested in doing a channel in the first place? It was not about, politics of Disney. It was not about the Disney corporate structure. It wasn't any of that, although that all bleeds obviously into what we do. But it was about having fun as a family. And so I said, one of the greatest ways we have fun is when we do game nights, we do trivia night. And I thought, maybe that's the deal. And Lena really kept, asking, when you guys coming back? And Lena and Sam said, we really enjoyed doing trivia and that. And I was like, that was just kind of confirmation to me that that's what we wanted to do. And that's why I wanted to start our channel back, kicking it off really with doing trivia. And I think those are a lot of fun. And by the way, Lena, I got your poster ready to go in the mail. I don't think there's mail on Monday, so it won't go out until Tuesday, because our post office was closed today. But it is packed up and ready to go, which is really good. It is really good. So it's awesome. I put 3 stamps on it. Hopefully that'll be enough. But, I want to appreciate everybody's support for our channel and that. And you guys have really stuck with us. And, as we kind of fell off the planet. And it didn't help too that the studio here, our Disney room, was Becca has been, transitioning from being a little girl to being she's 14, a full-fledged teenager. So she wanted to completely revamp her room. So this room has been stacked with boxes of baby dolls, stuffed animals, you name it, and then it was like, okay, Dad, everything that's in my room that's Disney that I don't want in my room anymore, I'm going to put in the Mickey room. So I had to find places for her stuff, which our closet over here has if you open it up, you just kind of go, there's a giraffe in there. There's a baby. There's 2 giraffes in the closet. And so that didn't help, and I was like, well, we could always stream in another part of the house. Like, yeah, but then it's like Susie and they can't do what they need to do. Plus, we've been virtual schooling Rebecca for the last 3 years. So I've had to be the point person for that. So that has kept me really busy, in addition to, pastoring a church. And so it's been crazy. But I said, you know what, starting in January, I don't want this to be a job. I don't want this to be work. I want it to be fun. And so doing trivia. And tonight we're going to talk about Funko Pops, something I've been wanting to do. We're going to do all kinds of different stuff. And we're just going to have fun. And we love you too. And Becca says, blame it on me. Well, part of it was you. Part of it was you. But I did talk about, but not really. Pamela said this. Oh, Lena, they had Subway. Let's just watch your trivia live streams for a couple of years. Oh, awesome. That's awesome, Pamela. Watch those Disney live streams. Yeah, give us some viewing time, because we practically reset at this point. But hey, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. Sam is now wanting to get into Funkos. I blame it on you, Sean. Oh, yeah, blame it on. Okay. It really is a sickness. It really is. I blame it on Garrett, because I did not have a Funko. Really didn't even know what Funkos were. I'll be quite honest with you. The first few of them I saw, I was kind of like, okay, that's kind of creepy, because they had black eyes and everything. I was like, that's kind of creepy. But then whenever I started looking at Funko as a company, which, by the way, I think next year is their 25th anniversary. So it'll be kind of really interesting to see if they start releasing special Funko stuff. But was the Disney, when they acquired the Disney license, And that the company had existed for years before they acquired Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, all of those licensing agreements to be able to make Funkos for them. Well, when it became a Disney thing, well, then I got a little bit more interested. So Garrett and them, I think they were at Disneyland at the time. Anyway, we're just talking about Funkos, and they had come down to Florida. That's when we met them at the Grand Floridian, hung out with them for a while, had a great time, amazing family. And and I said, I'm kind of interested in Funkos too. Well, he had picked up a cap for me, a Disney Dad cap for me at Disneyland that I saw in one of their live streams. I said, Garrett, while you guys are there, would you mind picking it up? And I'll just send you the money. And so he sends me the cap, and he said I put a little extra in it. He sent me the Woody Funko Pop, which I was going to get down before I came in, but I didn't have a chance to get it down. I was trying to finish my chili. And so I blame it on Garrett. He got me started in them. And it really is, it's kind of, I'm one of these people, I don't know what the name for him is. I don't know if it's called like a completist. Lena, you may know a completist or whatever, but you start a set and then you have to complete it. Which I do have some sets that are not complete simply because some of them I really didn't care to complete, but there are some that I have to complete. It's like you start, you're like, I've got to complete them. It also didn't help that a girl in our church that grew up in our church, she joined the Navy and was shipped out to Everett, Washington. Well, if you don't know what Everett, Washington is the home base for Funko Pop. So that's where the first original, because there are only two Funko Pop stores were. There's one in Everett, Washington, and one in Los Angeles. I'm like, guys, bring one over to the East Coast over here. And so she was literally within walking distance. She could walk to the Funko Pop store. Well, needless to say, she would text me, Pastor Sean, I'm going to the Funko Pop store. I'll FaceTime you and we'll look at Funko Pops together. Well, guess what? It grew and it started growing. And so then every time she went, she'd call me. Of course, she'd have to pick me up Funko Pops. So I've had Funko Pops flown in by her parents from Everett, Washington. She's now in Virginia with her husband. He's still in the Navy. She's out, but he's still in there. And they just moved to Virginia. So my Funko Pop store connection is out. So we got to get a Funko Pop store on the East Coast. So that completer, yes, completer. I'm a completer. So you got to have the completer piece. Well, some of them are really, some of them are like true to life sets. Some of them are not, in my mind. I mean, you could argue that all day, but some things just have to be finished. And so that's what I'm going to be looking at tonight are some of the ones that I have been working on finishing. And there's one that I didn't realize until tonight, getting ready for adding them in because I wasn't planning to do them when I had my stuff lined up for yesterday. I realized I'm missing two Funkos. So Susie, bless her heart, she bears with me, but she inherits them too. One of the Funkos you're going to see tonight is actually from her collection, and she's building a collection herself that I should say I'm building for her. But so see, that's a great way to buy Funkos. If I say, hey, I'm buying them for Susie or Becca, see, there's method to my madness. So anywho, Susie's in the chat, so I gotta be careful now. I'm getting Walt Disney black and white Funko Pop coming from Amazon on Wednesday. I'm so excited. It's him holding his drawing of Mickey. Yes, Pam, I'm getting that too. It's coming in. Mine's going to be here on Wednesday as well. So that's pretty cool. As a matter of fact, we're going to be talking about that particular Funko tonight. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. What I did is I put together kind of like a PowerPoint of images online. Some of my Funkos are still in the boxes. Some of them aren't. When I told Garrett I took my Funkos out of the box, he was like, what? But I keep my boxes. And I don't damage the box at all. And one of the really cool things about the Funko Pops are you can take them out of the box and it doesn't mess up the box. You're not really breaking a seal. Now, there are some of them that the flap is harder to lift. And I use a letter opener to do that so that I don't bend the cardboard any. So you never know that they've ever been opened. But I like to look at them. I like to show them. I like to, hold them, look at them, because some of them are, as Funko has expanded, their Funko Pops are becoming very, very detailed compared to the early Funko Pops. If you go back and look at some of the early ones, they didn't have near the detail that the later ones have. I'm also liking that some of these more recent Funko Pops have little bases on their feet, because I have an Elvis Funko Pop that he will not stand. I cannot get him to stand on his own. He has to lean against something or be against another Funko Pop. And some of them, the heads are just so heavy for the feet. And so I like it that some of them are coming with bases now, or they're trying to make the bases a little bit bigger on some of them. So anyway, you're helping expand her collection. That's exactly right. Pop twins, insane dudes. Yeah, that's right. Pop twins. I like that. I saw on TikTok that it doesn't matter in or out doesn't affect the value. It's when it was. Oh, that's cool. That's good to know. Yeah, and what I do is I've got every box of every Funko Pop I've ever bought. I still have the box. I just pack up the boxes, and Susie does a great job of packing boxes in a box, and she can just see the space. And so she did that for a lot of my boxes over Christmas break, to get those put together. So that was really, really cool. So tonight I want to talk about some of the Funko Pops. Now, understand, I've got a bunch of Funko Pops. If you look behind me, you can see I've got a whole, there's just a Sorcerer Mickey group right here. But then right above my head, those shiny boxes, those are actually plastic collector boxes that came from the Funko Pop store in Everett, Washington, that Bethany had brought me. And they are, technically they're sealed, but at least you can still open them. But they're the artist series. I'm not going to look at those tonight, but I am going to look at those next week. That's the series I'm going to be looking at next week. What I want to do this week is look at some of the ones I've gotten just recently. Not all of them, because I actually just got one in today, but I'm not going to show it until later. And you guys, if you haven't seen it, you're going to be like, what? It's kind of like a Funko Pop, not Funko Pop. Okay. It's kind of strange. And it's already made it to Rebecca's room. And I don't know if I'm going to see it or not. And all around Addison. Addison is in the house. Hey, Addie girl, so good to see you. Now, Addison has been in the Funko Pop room. Okay. She's one of our church kids. She's one of Becca's besties. And yeah, there are a lot of Funkos in here. Yeah, pretty wild. So anyway, next week, I want to talk about some of the artist series ones in celebration of the Festival of the Arts that is going on at Epcot right now. We'll be going down February 3rd through the 5th to the art festival. We're really excited about that. That's going to be really, really cool. So what I did is I put together a PowerPoint, just some PowerPoint slides of images of the Funko Pop. I've got the Funko Pops here as well. Some of them, like I said, are in boxes. Some of them are out of boxes. So I'll hold them up and just kind of show you a little bit of the detail on them. Okay. One of the cool things about Funko Pops is they're released by so many different groups. I mean, I have lost count now of how many different groups sell Funko Pops. Most of my Funko Pops come from Amazon, so that means a lot of them are Amazon exclusive. Some of them, like I said, did come from the Funko Pop store in Everett, Washington. That makes them a little bit extra special. Some of those have that they were a Funko store exclusive, so that means you had to have gotten them from the Everett, Washington store or the one in Los Angeles. And then some of them, oh goodness, Hot Topic has them, Walmart has them, Target has them. And right now, one of the big pushes in the Disney world are the Platinum Funko Pops for the 100th anniversary of Walt Disney Studios. I personally think this is one of the coolest groups of Funko Pops they have ever done. When they first released a couple of them, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But as they keep unveiling them, oh my goodness, they are really spectacular Funko Pops. And that's what Pamela's talking about. Is one of those is Walt holding the drawing of Mickey. So I'm going to drop the slideshow in here real quick, and we're going to look at it. I'll just go ahead and let me just flip through and get to that one. It's a little bit ahead of where I wanted to be, but we'll go ahead and go there. Let me see. Yeah. And you can see all of these upcoming. Okay. So here it is. Let me go to a little bit different screen here. So here, the one that Pamela's talking about is the bottom one, is Walt holding the drawing of Mickey. That is actually number one. That is number 74, and that it doesn't say that it's exclusive to any particular place. I've seen it pretty much everywhere. I've seen it on Hot Topic. There was another collector site that I wasn't familiar with. I saw it on today. I ordered mine through Amazon, which probably Pamela did too, which is the reason why they're coming in at the same time. Yeah, Box Lunch. Yep, I've gotten some from Box Lunch, only 2 or 3. I've gotten 2 or 3 from Target. Yep. Entertainment Earth, I have not ordered any from there. Yes, Barnes and Nobles has them, Walmart has them. And I'm really glad to see some of the ones that our Walmart gets. And I'm hoping that some of the platinum ones are going to be coming to our Walmart. Now, we don't have a Target nearby, so we'll have to travel for that. But 2 of them are going to be Target exclusives that I definitely want to have, because I'm not about having every part of the every one of the Funkos in the, let me get back here, every one of the Funkos in the 100th collection, but I'm going to have a lot of them because they're really, really cool. And they just have that just has a lot of intrinsic value when something is celebrating, the 100th anniversary of anything. There's a lot of intrinsic value there. So not that I'll ever sell them, never want, but it is kind of cool knowing that what they're celebrating, and the fact that it is Walt Disney Studios is really cool. Target is worth the drive. Yep, it is. It is. Our Target is 50 miles away. There's one 50 miles north. There's one 85 miles south. But yeah, they have great Funko Pops. I saw it on Tops Pops YouTube channel. His name's Tristan Houston. Yeah, Top Pops. I've seen that as well. So the really neat thing, this will probably be. Somebody asked me the other day. They said, and gosh, what a hard question it was. They said, what is your favorite Funko Pop? And I have several favorites, but I can tell you that whenever this number 74 comes, that will be my favorite Funko Pop. And it will be hard to unseat that Funko Pop. That's all I can say, because that just really sounds like, I've studied Walt Disney's life most of my life, and the fact that I just absolutely love Mickey. I love Steamboat Willie. It is the combination of everything. And it is the quintessential iconic piece for the 100th anniversary for Walt Disney Studios. So I don't have it yet, so I can't say it's my favorite, but come Wednesday when I have it, it will be my favorite. Yeah, it sounds like how far we have to drive. Yeah, it is. It's terrible, but it is what it is, right? Let me get back up here. Let me get back here to the top of the slideshow. Okay. So during COVID, during the shutdown, Funko released a lot of series of Disney, Star Wars, Marvel. I mean, there is no shortage of just those out there. And I mean, you can think of any kind of movie franchise, Stranger Things. They got some of the retro things, like we got back of the set, part of the set for, let's see, we have some of the set of Grogu. We have one of the sets for Wally. Back to the Future is one of the sets that we have. And then they started releasing what they call VHS cover sets. And I like those, but I only am interested in the Disney ones. They also released some LP covers, which is really cool. Of course, the only one that really interested me was the Elvis one. So I'll go over all those. That'll be another stream, is going over those, their covers, whether they're LP covers or their book covers. They're doing books now, whether it's a VHS cover or CD cover. They're doing all those. And so I've got a handful of them. I've got, I think, 4 of them. And then I've pre-ordered a couple of them, but they won't be here until later in the spring. So that's one of the things too, is, pre-ordering things that will come in. And then there are all kinds of things. TV shows have Funko Pop collections and all of that. They basically released the whole kit and caboodle since Disney owns everything. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, when Funko got the rights for Disney, that included, and then Marvel and Star Wars inclusively, that became a huge deal. So during the shutdown, when everybody was ordering things from home, Funko was just releasing these things, excuse me, these things like crazy. And so we got several of them during that period of time because they're releasing so many things. Well, one of them that they let me I think this is my first slide. One of them that they released was this. If you have Disney Plus, you've probably seen the Olaf Presents show, which is really, really cool. It is absolutely hilarious. And it's when Olaf is portraying all these different uh, Disney stars. So you have Rapunzel and Genie and Moana and Ariel and Simba. And I'm sure you've seen it, the audience that's in chat, I'm sure you've seen it. But if you haven't seen it, you've got to watch Olaf Presents. It's just absolutely hilarious. Now, this is actually my newest. Let me. I've got to move a couple things out of the way. This is actually my newest set that I've collected. I actually just finished it today. I would have finished it a couple days ago, but Amazon sent me the wrong Funko Pop, so I had to get them to send me the replacement. But these are fantastic Funko Pops. All right, I'm getting them here, guys. Let me get back to my bigger screen again. These are fantastic Funko Pops. They're very, very detailed. Let's see. They're very, very detailed. As a matter of fact, this is the one that came today because this is the one that they had messed up was Olaf as Moana. They sent me another Genie instead. And the expressions, and I'm going to leave the slide up so that you can see a little bit better. That's this Funko Pop right here in the upper right-hand corner of the slide. But this is number 1181. Is Disney Olaf Presents. It's an Amazon exclusive, as you can see. And that's usually what Funko will do is they'll put if it's exclusive to any particular store or whatever the case may be. So on the back, on the back of all the Funko Pop boxes, it actually shows you all the pieces to that particular series. And of course, it says collect them all, which, you know, I'm a kid of the 70s and 80s. That means you got to have it, right? So when it says collect them all, that just becomes a personal challenge. But this one, I really wanted to collect them all. Our family, we absolutely love Olaf Presents. I just love Olaf, period. Josh Gad, we were there this past year when Josh Gad did the Candlelight Processional, and he did just a phenomenal job of that. He just did such a great job, and it was so neat because I really like the character of Olaf. He just, I don't know, he is, and you know this, he is just so innocent. He's such a free spirit, and I don't know, he is just really, really cool. So pretty much, I've got several Funkos. I've got the Frozen 2 collection over here, and I've got two different Olafs, but I really like this one because it has Bruni from Frozen 2 sitting on top of his head. And if you can see, his body has snowflakes on it. Isn't that cool? So he is a really, really neat Funko Pop. Plus, we absolutely love Bruni. He is so cool. And so anyway, all right, let me get back to task at hand. So we had Olaf as Moana, and look at his expression. He's just kind of like a buck tooth, you know, and it's really cool. It is just really just as cute as it can be. And then the next one is Olaf as Rapunzel. And this one's really cool because, again, it's an Amazon exclusive. This one's really cool because, and I'm going to open it up because you gotta see this. It's just the detail that's in it. But I really like this Funko Pop because he stands really, really well. Which all of these Olaf Funko Pop stand really, really well. But you see, he has a really, my goodness, guys, has a really good base between his feet and his hair. All right, so instead of Pascal, it's Bruni. And then, of course, he has a frying pan. And this is just too cute. I mean, that is just absolutely adorable. And you miss Bruni in the box. You really do. He's hard to see because he's where the seam comes together on the box. So you can almost completely miss him if you really don't know he's there. That's why I like taking them out. And they got every detail in the painting on Bruni. all of his little markings on his back. So this is a really, really detailed Funko Pop. The dress is textured, which is really cool. You don't see a lot of that. Sometimes it's just kind of, we'll just smooth it out, but it's really, really textured, which is cool. And the colors on it are really nice too. But this is just a really neat series, and it kind of shows you what I said earlier, that Funko on a lot of their newer pops are getting more and more detailed. I mean, they've already been great, but they're getting more and more detailed for sure. I love Frozen. I did too, Pamela. I like Frozen 2 better than the first one. Yeah. Yep. This will all make sense when older. Innocent, lovable. Yes, he is. I've got to get these still, especially Rapunzel and Ariel. They're my girls. There you go. Well, and since Ariel is your girls, here's Ariel. And the Ariel one is really, really cute. And let me take him out. Let me take him out of the box here. And so it's going to take up more time taking some of them out of the box, but it's okay. We're just here to have fun. But again, you can see the detail here on this Funko Pop. There's the tail. Just really, really cute. I love that one. So, yep, Pamela, you'll have to get those. They're really great. I'll actually be putting these probably on display here on the back shelf. My plan is every month is to do a different focus back here, and so I'll be changing that out in February. And then Olaf as Simba. This is just fantastic. Again, the texture on this one is really, really good. The texture on the leaves, it's a really, really cool Funko Pop. And then Genie is clever because, of course, he's blue, and he's holding the magic lamp, which is just amazing. And the lamp is really shiny. It looks metallic. So they did, I got to say, Funko, now there's some of them Funko kind of drops the ball on, and I'll show you one of those in a little bit. But they really didn't drop the ball on this. And Olaf as Simba is heavy. This is probably one of the heaviest Funko Pops I have ever. I mean, I thought the Rapunzel one was heavy because of the hair, but this is a really heavy Funko Pop. So the Olaf Present series is really cool. That putting them in order, that is let's see, 77. So there was Olaf as Ariel, 78 Genie, 79 was Simba, 80 was Rapunzel, and the last one, 81, is Moana. So that is that's a whole series right there. That's a completed series right there. And I will go ahead and tell you, if you are, and Lena, if Sam is really interested in Funko Pops, check out Amazon right now, because they're really cutting the prices on a lot of these. As a matter of fact, I had not worked on this series because they were still around the $15, $16 range. But right after Christmas, one of them popped up, and I've been getting these. I got them for like $5. Now I think Moana was a little bit more. I think Moana was 10, but they were. I don't know what they are now, so don't quote me on that. But I've seen a lot of the Disney Funko Pops of late. They're cutting the prices back quite a bit. So if there's any particular thing he's looking for, have him ask me, or like I said, go to Amazon and see if they have it, and he can go from there. So that was one of the series that is very, very new, that I thought was really, really cool. All right, moving on. Okay, let me check here. It looks like Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz, Little Oz. Yeah, he kind of does. As a matter of fact, Pamela, that's interesting you should say that, because the first time I ever saw that Funko Pop, I kind of thought it was. And it was like, oh, that's right, Olaf presents Simba. Okay, but it's a lion, so he has a mane, right? I'm on the fence, too, since I love the OG so much, but I'm willing to give it a chance as long as they don't change it to... Oh, hands full, hearts full. Good to see you, Kelly. Great to have you in tonight as we talk about Funko Pops. Let's see. Oh, Lena, okay, we're heading out. It's been a long day, and we're going to crash early. All right, Lena, you guys have a great night. All right, so the next thing is, let me check the next slide here so we can kind of look at them a little bit further. All right, this is an amazing Funko Pop or duo, I should say, as part of this is not part of the 100th celebration. This was part of D23 Expo. And D23 Expo this year, they released Funko Pops around airplanes, particularly around Plane Crazy and, the animated short. So they released this Funko Pop set of Mickey and Minnie. And you see it says D23 Expo 2022. And of course, this is Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. And Mickey is reading the book How to Fly. And that is the whole premise of the story. So with that, and I'll kind of jump ahead here because it's going to make more sense. At D23 Expo, they had Walt Disney's plane. If you remember, the plane used to be at Hollywood Studios. This last year, they moved it back to Los Angeles to get it ready, to restore it, to get it ready for D23. And of course, it will have its permanent home out there. Unfortunately, we've lost it at Walt Disney World. Surprise, surprise. But so they released this Funko Pop. This is Mickey in the plane. And then they also released the pilot Mickey. Okay, so the Mickey on the plane and the pilot Mickey. These are separate. I got them separately because I wanted, even though the Funko head is identical, I wanted one that had the actual body, because this is just the torso and head. There's no, he does not pop. Somebody asked me, does he come out? No, he doesn't. So it's just the torso and the head here on the plane. All right. So there's a mock-up of Walt Disney's plane. So on the back of the Funko Pop box, it actually says, I flew on the mouse 234MM. And it's the certificate for those who have ever flown or those who visited the display at D23. They got that certificate. Well, this set plays homage, so to speak, not only to that certificate, that experience, but also to the short Plane Crazy. And what is really cool is you see their eyes. They have pie eyes, which is really neat. I love it when the black and white Mickeys are given pie eyes. And I'm really glad that recently they have decided that that's a thing, because pie-eyed Mickey was an original animation style for Mickey Mouse. And so when they did the 90th birthday series for Mickey, they did the black and white ones, like I've got them back here, and I've got Steamboat Willie here, and I've got the Plane Crazy here, and the firefighter in the back. They're all three black and white, but none of them are pie-eyed. So it's kind of I don't know, it kind of misses something. So whenever they released this series, they made him pie-eyed, which is really cool, and that'll kind of go into something else I want to talk about here in just a minute. But this is a fantastic Funko Pop set. It's not numbered. It just says 2-pack. Okay. It's not numbered because, like I said, it was a D23 Expo event. I was not there. I actually got this through Amazon, I think. Yeah, I think I got this through either Amazon or Box Lunch. I might have gotten this through Box Lunch. But when they released it publicly, I had to have it because I knew folks that got it while they were at D23. And I wish I'd have known someone, close enough that said, hey, could you pick me up one? But I didn't. So they did release it to the public, which is really, really cool. Right now, this is probably one of my absolute favorite Funkos because it really captures, the animation of the past. The skirt, you can see a little bit better. I'm not going to take this one out of the box because it's a little bit more involved because of it's all one unit. But if you look at the image there on the screen on that slide, you can see, I'll make it bigger. You can see, oh, I got to be in the thing or you can't hear me. You can see her skirt. And that is really cool because it looks on the Funko itself, it looks flowy. It's just it's simple detail, but it's really neat detail that is there. So this is a really, really cool one. Hey, Debbie, good to see you tonight. Let's see. and welcome in as we talk about Funko Pops tonight. Kick back, hang out with us. Pamela says, I was talking about Little Mermaid live action movie. I missed something somewhere. Are you guys going to see the live action Little Mermaid? The live action Little Mermaid. I don't know. We might. We'll see. Probably just wait till it comes on Disney Plus. I'm not that excited about it. But anyway, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool Funko Pop. And like I said, it goes on along with the other one I wanted to show, was going to show you guys, since we were talking about it, is that, is the airplane. All righty. All right. So let me put the plane back. All right. Put that one back. And we'll keep rolling. All right. The next, of course, this one's been out for a little while. This was for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. Funko Pop released a 2-series set on this. One is with Mickey dressed in the 50th anniversary attire, and the other is him. He's all gold. I'm not a big fan of the all gold things. I mean, not whenever it's like, if they sold it just separately, that's one thing, but I didn't need another castle. Now, this is one of the places where Funko kind of dropped the ball. I mean, they really did. Is if you remember, prior to releasing the 50th anniversary castle, which is Cinderella's castle, they had released Aurora's castle from Disneyland, right? Okay, so I've got both of those, and that's kind of what I want to show you. This is the Aurora's castle. Now, this came in 2 different ways. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 of these castles. One of them came with Mickey. All right. One of them came with the band leader Mickey, if you remember. And I was trying to find my band leader Mickey. Where did he go? he has run off on me. Right here. Right in front of me. It came with the band leader Mickey. Okay. And so they released Aurora's castle. It's fantastic. Great detail, right? I mean, it does. It looks really good. It's a really great Funko. I mean, the details on the spires are fantastic. So they said, okay, we're going to release a 50th anniversary edition that's going to be Cinderella's castle, right? So they released Cinderella's castle. And so they did. And they put the color on it. Sorry, guys. And they put the color on it. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to get rid of the slide here real quick. So they put the color on it. But look at it. It looks like Aurora's castle. There's a couple of modifications, but not really. So a lot of us were kind of like, really, Disney, really, Funko? That was kind of lame. I mean, they're slightly different, but not that much. They should have put the 50th anniversary crest there. I'm kind of surprised they didn't. The clock is not there. Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on this one. I mean, it does definitely have some Cinderella Castle attributes to it, but not that great. Now, the way I ended up with 2 castles, all right, is that of the Aurora castles, is that one of them came with band leader Mickey. And then here recently, they released, which is right now my favorite Funko Pop, Walt Disney holding the Mickey doll. Okay, so I actually have a spare castle because I didn't want to, and they're identical. I mean, the other castle the only thing different was one was Mickey, one was Walt, but the castle is exactly the same thing. So there was no variation there whatsoever. So those are really cool, really neat. parts of the collection. The box that they came in is huge. I mean, it came in a huge box with a neat backdrop. One of the things that's kind of cool in a lot um, of the Funko Pop boxes with Disney is they put a neat background in it, and that's really cool. It looks like it's broken too. So one of the towers looks tilted. Yeah, it is. This tower is actually tilted. Yep, they're all tilted. That was a manufacturing issue. Not the only one. Yeah, it's got a tilted spire, and Kelly says, yeah, that's kind of like, yeah, it is. I mean, like I said, it's there's some variation, but compare the back of the two. I mean, other than like color, sorry, they're the same. There are slight variations. But yeah, see this one's straight, but this spire, see, is tilted just a little bit. Isn't that crazy? And so there was a lot of complaint about the fact that number one, the spire is crooked, and the other was that there was not enough variation, and it was actually designed this way because if you look at the roof line of the castle, it tilts in. So it's not like this. You can't straighten it, or you'll just break it because it's actually crooked coming through the line of the house. So of the castle rather. So anywho, could have been better, but it's still really cool. The main thing was to have it since it was the 50th. But like I said, the really cool one was being able to get the Aurora Castle that has the Walt with Mickey. Now, another thing that was which is interesting is this is the very first Walt Disney Funko that was ever released. You could build people would build Walt Disney Funko out of other Funko parts. I heard that if you went to the Funko store, you might be able to build something kind of close to Walt. But this was the first time Walt Disney was actually ever released on a Funko Pop. And then now, of course, we're going to have the new one that's coming out for the 100th. So that's really, really cool. Okay, Pam, the Walt holding the Mickey doll comes as a set with this Aurora Castle. Okay, and the Aurora Castle, there are two different sets: Aurora Castle with Walt, and the very first one that they released was the Aurora Castle with the marching band Mickey, which I really like. This marching band Mickey, he's really cool because he sits really well. They made his feet a little bit bigger than the other Funko Pops, so he stands well. You don't have problems with him. Like Tinkerbell back there, I have. This is one of the cool things. When I display these, I usually put like Funkos. I got these little clear risers and things, but there are flat surfaces on the castles where you can kind of sit the Funkos pretty cool. So I got back there before I moved it for you guys. I had Tinkerbell sitting up on Cinderella's castle. And such as that. Tinkerbell has tiny little feet, so it is hard to keep her head, which is big, plus her wings on those tiny feet. No, they don't come separately. They come together with the castle, Pamela. Yep, they come together. All right, let me get back into our slide here. Next one over is Space Mountain. Now, Space Mountain is also a part. Now, it's an Amazon exclusive. It's number 28. It's part of the Pop Town series, which it's kind of odd that they call this one Pop Town. But anyway, we won't get into all the details of that. But the Space Mountain and Mickey Mouse were part of as the box shows you, the 50th anniversary collection as well. And that is this one right here. So here's Space Mountain. And I was very surprised. Here's Mickey in his spacesuit. Matter of fact, let me drop the picture back out. You can see him better. So that's really cool. So he's got a spacesuit on. Again, substantial feet, so he stands really well, which is cool. What really surprised me is these castles. Now I know the castle's bigger than Space Mountain. These castles probably weigh about a pound and a half. Space Mountain maybe weighs 4 ounces. It's completely hollow. It has a bottom, but it's hollow inside. It's really, really light. So when the box came with it, I was expecting it to have a weight kind of similar to the castles, but it doesn't. So this is it's neat, but it's not as substantial as the castle. I mean, you can kind of see the difference in the sizes here. It's just not as substantial. Oh, thank you. Oh, you can take. I'm gonna do that next week. I'll do them next week. Thank you, Beck. But it is a really neat Funko Pop. I like it. I think it's really neat. Again, it's celebrating the 50th anniversary, so that's pretty cool. All right, next one. Next slide, please. All right. Also part of the 50th anniversary collection is number 31, which is the Hollywood Tower of Terror. The Hollywood Tower of Terror is really cool. As you can see, the tower itself has a lot of really neat detail on it. Interestingly enough, like compared to the Space Mountain, it's a little heavier. It's interesting when I look at them. Actually, I just noticed this. The Space Mountain one is basically it's kind of glued on. The bottom's glued on. The bottom of the Hollywood Tower of Terror is screwed on. I mean, you can see there are 8 screws on it, and you can feel the weightiness. Now, this is still not as heavy as the castle, but it's a lot closer to it. So it just feels like, I mean, this feels like if this like fell on the floor, like on a hard concrete floor, it'd probably bust. It's so lightly made. It's really, I would have expected more. I did expect more as far as the weight of it was concerned. But the Hollywood Tower of Terror was really cool. Of course, it comes with the bellhop Mickey, which is really, really cool. I like him. I like the styling. Again, he has, not only does he have really good feet, but actually his tail makes contact with the ground too. So it gives you a little bit of extra support. And that's very, very important because when they don't have support, they fall over and it's hard to keep them standing upright. Let me come back to chat here real quick. Okay. How much was the set? I don't remember. I want to say it was probably $30. Most of the 50th anniversary sets go between $20 and $30. So you just kind of have to look it up. I've had that one for a while, so it may have come down in price since then. Tucker would love that one. Space Mountain is his favorite ride. Oh, that's cool, Kelly. Check that one out. It's an Amazon exclusive. A lot of that stuff has come down in price quite a bit. So go check that out. It's cool and I want to ride Tower of Terror. No, you don't. You're not gonna ride it with me. Yeah, you'll be waiting a long time. Jesus will definitely be coming before that happens. Hey, Lordy. See, I'm gonna hold on just a minute, guys. I'm gonna put this stuff away because I don't want it to get in the fray too much. Well, see what happens when the Funko loses his footing? Oh my goodness. And that was Orange Bird. Get Orange Bird back up there again. All right. Let me get these back in place, guys. All right. That way they're out of the way. All right. Okie dokie. Maybe we can ride it in glory. Yeah, maybe we can ride it in glory. Let me put you this way: we could ride it to glory, because that's exactly what would happen. Oh no, no roller coaster rides, things like that. Oh, it messes with my ears way too bad. All right, let's go to the next one here. See what we have. Oh, we've already covered the plane. Talked about that one earlier. All right, the next one. This is a big series that was actually released. This is the one I was talking about earlier. This is the one that actually I've got to get two more of them. This is a Princess series that was released during the COVID shutdown. It is a fantastic talk about detail. These are extremely, extremely detailed Funko Pops. Probably, I would say, easily the most detailed Funko Pops in my entire collection. Not Disney related, but did you see how this movie came out? Yes, yeah, I have not seen it yet. These are extremely detailed. Now, the one I do not have, I don't have Snow White yet. I don't know how I missed that. And I don't have Rapunzel yet. I bought Susie's Cinderella. Cinderella's the one, the top, reading the book with the animals. They are really, really detailed. You can't see it in the picture, but Tiana is actually holding a frog. In the Ariel one, I know Pam loves Ariel. Sebastian, the detail. Let me go back to the full frame camera here. There we go. Ariel, see Sebastian. Everything on these Funko Pops is crazy detail. Crazy. So you do have Ariel and you have Pocahontas. So here's Aurora. And the animals with Aurora are so cute. So there's Aurora. And here's Jasmine. Here's Pocahontas. I love the Pocahontas one. And then Moana. And I cannot, just it's hard to explain just how detailed they are. The base, they sit on a base. As a matter of fact, let me take. I'll take Pocahontas out. They sit on a base, which automatically gives them great security on a shelf, because they do break. I've had to repair Funko Pops with. I can't tell you how many of Mickey's tails and arms and hands I've had to glue back on. As a matter of fact, I had my first Steamboat Willie of him. It was set in the window, and I guess it kind of got too hot. It shattered all to pieces about a year or so ago. I had to completely replace him. But see, the detail here is absolutely incredible. I should focus in a little bit better. It's trying to focus in on me. There it is. And then you can see, it's the colors of the wind. But that is just really, really cool. I absolutely love her. And I'm so glad that they did a Pocahontas Funko, because they're rare. She's kind of like the forgotten princess, right? She's kind of forgotten about. And so that was really cool. Of the series number, she's number 17. So she was actually one of the last ones to be released in the series. If I can get it back in there. There we go. So like I said, the bases that they have really good footing, which is incredible. But these are just really cool. These will actually, I'll have them out of the box probably next month. I'm going to have this whole series for Valentine's Day. I'm going to have the princesses released from their boxes, so you can see more detail. The Moana one is quite heavy. That's because there's that big splash of water. But so is the Ariel one. I know, Pam, you said you have Ariel. So I still have to get Snow White. A Funko destroyer in our house. His name is Miles. Yeah, keep everything out of the way of Miles. That's for sure. Yeah, Pocahontas is gorgeous. She is. That is a, and that's kind of like the with Walt Disney. There are so few, which Walt Disney. There's only two actually. Walt Disney, and there are only I think 2 or 3 Pocahontas, and a lot of them, if they were really really early, they're ridiculously expensive. Okay, so you have Rapunzel too. Awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm missing Rapunzel and Snow White. All right, let's see. What else do I have in here? All right, we did the Plane Crazy. All right, this is another series that has been released. This is all part of the 50th anniversary, and you see there's Minnie on the carousel horse. Well, guys know that Susie loves Minnie. Minnie is her absolute favorite Disney character, and she loves carousel horses. So what a perfect combination, but to have Minnie riding a carousel horse. And this one's actually out of the box because she has this on her desk here. Which, by the way, the Cinderella princess is at Susie's office. She has Cinderella there. The Cinderella one is really cool too. But this is an absolutely gorgeous Funko Pop. As you can see, the detail and the coloring. This one they really hit a home run with. And she's good size, which is really cool. The other parts of this collection are the Mickey with the Dole Whip, and Jose, right? Wasn't it Jose? Yeah, Jose. Now, I bought these in a set. They came together, but they also come separately. But isn't Mickey, well, it's Jose. Isn't Jose fantastic? Look at Mickey with his Hawaiian shirt on. He's just the best. He's one of the cutest Mickeys, I think, that they've released. And Jose is really cool, too. The mascot for the Enchanted Tiki Room. So those are really cool. So these are all individual. Like I said, now that Mickey and Jose came together as a 2-piece box set, but since then they have released them individually, which is what you see here. Here they are released in individual boxes. All right, this is the next set to work on. Is they released this for the 100th anniversary, and it's Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy. I really like this one. I love it's classic. Everything about it is classic. It's classic Mickey. It's classic Minnie, and I love Donald's expression is so cool, and Daisy just kind of has a whatever expression on her face. Now they sell these as a set. This is going to be a Walmart exclusive, or they also sell them separately. I'll probably get them separately unless I happen to find them at our Walmart or something as a set, but probably won't. So I'll probably end up getting them individually. A set that I would go crazy for is a Goofy Movie Funko Pop set. Come on, Disney, make it happen. Well, as far as Goofy Movie is concerned, the one item I do have is the VHS cover. This was an Amazon exclusive. That's the movie cover for a Goofy movie. These are really cool. I'll do a whole series on these, but these are just really, really cool. Yeah, and you're right, Pam. They're simple. They're really simple, which sometimes that's great. It's just the simplicity of it. They're in their simple costumes, very traditional costumes. All right. Also coming out for the 100th is this is part of the movie cover or poster cover, and this is Snow White, and she is absolutely gorgeous. I love the detail in the rabbits and the squirrel. So Pam has a power line. Oh, that's cool. You got the power line Funko Pop. That's awesome. So these are cute. These are all coming out here at they are released now. I think you can buy her. It says his first full-length feature production. And this is it's going to be, you wouldn't be a good Funko Pop Disney collector if you didn't have this one, because truly everything, all the silly symphonies were working toward making this movie. So that's pretty cool. It is definitely a big part of the 100 years history, obviously. And then they're also releasing one for Fantasia, which is really cool. I absolutely love this one. I'm definitely going to get Snow White before I get Fantasia, but this is also a really good one. The Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey, which he comes in many shapes and sizes. I've got several behind me, many shapes and sizes. Yeah, it is. The Snow White one is absolutely gorgeous. Excuse me. I love that they have the old poster behind the Funko Pop. That was just well done. It's simple too, which is cool because the age that Snow White was released in was just simple. It was a simple age graphically, and that's what made Snow White so amazing. Is how in an era of movies and film where things were very non 3-dimensional, very flat. This movie just really came to life in color. It came to life in movement. They used real animals to study the movement for this movie. The color is just phenomenal. Using the multi-plane camera was also a big part of the transitions that you see in Snow White. So this is definitely a must. It's like if you owned anything from the Funko Pop 100th collection, it would have to be, I think, in my opinion, it would have to be the Walt with the Mickey drawing and the Snow White poster here. It'd have to be. If you had just those two things, you've got a collector. You've got a good part of collection. And then the Fantasia one's cool. They use the old vintage poster back there, which is just really, really cool. Something else coming out is Oswald. They are showing love to Oswald, which is just so cool to me. Oswald, the rights to Oswald were taken by Universal. And so for many, many years, out from under Walt Disney by Universal. Universal had it for many, many years. And but Michael Eisner and the group got Oswald back. And still really nothing had happened. But here of late, we've seen more Oswald stuff pop up in the parks. And now Oswald's getting some love for the 100th, which is absolutely appropriate. This is so cool. I love this one. This is another one of the posters. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. He's singing and playing the banjo. I mean, this is so cute. I absolutely love it. Along with it, they're releasing some individuals. They've got Oswald there with the top hat and cane, and then just kind of the traditional, kind of like there's a traditional Mickey stance. This is like the traditional Oswald stance. So these are really cool. Definitely going to have to be in the collection. I was telling Susie, if there had not been, there would not be Mickey without Oswald. A lot of times we don't think about that. So that is just really cool. Yes, he is. He is so cute. What are my thoughts on the change in leadership at Disney? So Kelly, how long do you have? I've got to have a cup of coffee. I'll tell you what, hang in there for just a couple more minutes. Let me finish this up and then we'll talk about that a little bit. So Oswald's getting some love. So those are some things that are coming up. Also for the 100th Platinum is a Funko exclusive, and it's Donald. I love this one. I love him. I'm going to try to order him while he's cheap. I look for him to skyrocket in price. 2 reasons. Donald stuff is hard to find. Donald stuff is expensive with Funko for some reason. And they've also designed this Funko Pop with the long beak, like Donald had. Now, not quite as long as the original Donald animation, but close to it. So it's definitely not new Donald, but definitely got that retro look. Of course, it's not really black and white. He's kind of a sepia color, which is really kind of cool. I like that. So that's going to be a neat one to see in person. And then also this of course is the Walt Disney that Pam and I will be getting on Wednesday. And it sounds like she and I are getting our deliveries at the same time. And then there's also Goofy. I love Goofy. he's blowing a little party blower. Now this one's exclusively to Target, and it's great. Now it's interesting how he's more black and white, whereas whereas Donald is a little bit more of a sepia look to him. And I'm gonna be curious to see, because I'm assuming they're gonna release the whole gang, and that's gonna be really, really cool. I love it. I love it. And Goofy just has a neat expression here. And then this is amazing. This Funko has just been released, where Mickey is half color, half black and white, and his black and white component has a pie-eyed Mickey. This is super cool. I love it. I love this. I love the thought that went behind it, and I can't. It kind of reminds me of what is the name of the film at Epcot, the horse one, the short. What is it? Buy Me a Horse. What is it? Oh, Ride a Horse. Anyway, where the black and white comes color. That's what this reminds me of. And so I cannot wait. I've already pre-ordered that one. I cannot wait to get it in. What's the most valuable Disney Funko Pop right now? Oh, wow. I don't know. That's a great, yeah, I'm like, Pam, that's a great question. I don't know. To me, the most valuable ones are these three right here, especially the two Walts, because the first Walt that I was showing earlier, the Walt that has the Mickey plush, there had never been a Walt Disney Funko Pop. So that obviously, to me, and personally, is very valuable. The one with him holding Steamboat Willie is easily going to be my favorite in my collection, hands down, once I get him on Wednesday. I don't know. I've not. I mean, I haven't researched or looked it up as to what it would be. There are so many early, back in the day, Disney Funko Pops. Whenever Funko first got the rights to Disney and Star Wars and Marvel and all of that, and they're very expensive. I mean, like I said, the Pluto is another one that is hard to find, and they're very expensive. So Donald and Pluto, Goofy, those are they're hard to get your hands on. I mean, even if you go through eBay, some of those collectors there, they want quite a bit of money for those, and that's the reason why the only Pluto I have is a holiday Pluto, and it's the Pluto with the Christmas lights and the candy cane. And the reason is because the rate, just a simple Pluto, is like $90 or $100. I mean, because he was early, and so I'm hoping that with the 100th that they're going to release, a black and white one or another Pluto, and then hopefully I can get one. That'd be really cool, because I say, after Mickey, for me it's Pluto, and I love Pluto's character, and I just love the Pluto Mickey dynamic. It's kind of like with me and our dog Daisy. She's like right here with me right now. She and I travel, and she's kind of my traveling buddy, and so she's kind of like my Pluto. Are you listening to us, Daisy Lou? Daisy, are you listening? Yeah, she likes to come in here. She likes, whenever I'm live streaming, she likes to come in here and lay down next to me. So anyway, those are all the Funko Pops I was going to show tonight, and I'm glad, because that was an hour and 14 minutes. I got a lot more that we'll do. And what I'm going to try to do, this is on every Friday, is to do a Funko Pop Friday. Of course, this is a Saturday because of dealing with our headache yesterday. So anyway, that's where we are with Funko Pops. Now, Kelly, to answer your question. Yeah. Oh, hi. See, Miss Pam says, "Hey, Daisy." what do I think after you talk about Sean? Are we going to play a little bit of trivia? Yeah, we can do a little bit of trivia. We just do a little bit, no prizes or anything. It'll just be a little bit of trivia. What do I think about the leadership at Disney? Well, Chapek had to go. I think we were all pretty clear on Chapek. I'm not a huge Bob Iger fan. Okay, I like Iger as a businessman, and I read his books. I think he's a really good businessman. One of the things that really gets me with Iger is he's not a visionary. He's a purchaser. He spends money, that's for sure. That's one of the big issues with this whole proxy war going on now, is that the acquisition of Fox was huge money and no return. I mean, there has been minuscule return on a massive, massive investment. And the problem is, it doesn't look like there's any plans to make anything come of it, which I was afraid was going to happen when he bought it anyway. The fact that he could spend that much money in acquiring Fox, I mean, I know how corporate structures work, and I know he's certainly a CEO could do it. But you almost wish that there was some way they could have pulled the rein in on that. Okay, so Minifan says, Kelly, Dumbo Clown for the 50 is listed at $6,350. Wow. I am glad Iger's back, but I don't think Iger needs to stay long. I think he's the best. He was the best because Chapek had to go. Of course, all the people that were praising Iger coming back were the same people who were ready to see Iger go. And when Iger announced his retirement, we're kind of like, okay, kind of like Eisner. He was too long at the dance. He needs to move on. Well, it's almost one of those things. Be careful what you wish for. Chapek coming in, it was Iger's idea. And then Iger turns around and says, it was the biggest mistake I made in my business career. And and I know you guys have probably, if you're like me, you've watched a lot of videos on this. I think Mickey Views, Braylon with Mickey Views, did a great look at this whole proxy war. Is that Iger's a great businessman, don't get me wrong, but he's just not to me, he's just not a real visionary. He's very political. Everybody thinks that all the politics started with Chapek, but it kind of really all started with Iger. Chapek wanted to stay out of the politics, and then because of the virtue signaling, he gets brought, he jumps with both feet right in the middle of it, and now it has become an absolute disaster with the whole Reedy Creek deal. But, I'm behind Governor DeSantis on that, in the sense that, none of the other theme parks in the state, you got SeaWorld right down the street, you have Universal right down the street. They have all these years, they've paid all those taxes, and Disney hasn't. And then people are worried about whether Orange County, if people's taxes are going to go up. Well, they're not going to go up as long as Disney's paying their fair share of the taxes, because they haven't been paying any at all. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how the infrastructure of Reedy Creek unfolds. But boy, I'll tell you, again, just yesterday or Thursday, Governor DeSantis again came out and said the days of the corporate stuff's over. So he's not coming back on. I know there were some YouTube video hacks, I'll call them hacks, here about around November or late or mid-December, that were like, well, DeSantis is recanting. He's apologizing. DeSantis is not apologizing nor recanting. If anything, he's digging in deeper and deeper. So I don't know what Iger has done. I know my understanding is Iger has just gotten back from his yacht. He's been cruising around New Zealand for the last 3 weeks, which is kind of interesting. The company's, it's kind of like, kind of again, when he says like Nero playing the violin, the violin while Rome burns. He's out on his yacht as the company is unraveling. And the whole proxy war, whether that's going to be anything, the there's all kinds of dynamics with that. I'll be curious to see who comes in. A lot of people are like, hey, Josh Tomorrow. I do not think Josh Tomorrow is the answer. I do not. I like Josh Tomorrow. But from a management perspective, Josh Tomorrow is a cheerleader, not a captain. He is good at cheering on the troops. That's where he shines. But, he couldn't stand up to Chapek. And if you can't stand up to your boss, you're not going to be able to stand up to a board of directors or a room full of investors. So if he caved to one man, imagine what he'll do to 100. So he's just not. I know everybody, most everybody listened to hopes that, and he's just not experienced enough. Usually anytime, now if they moved him around the company, like moved him to Disney Cruise Line for a while, moved him to Adventures, even ABD or something like that, move him into different departments and then bring him in as CEO would be one thing. But he has only had 2 roles, and he just really doesn't have the experience yet. And I honestly believe, and I may be completely wrong, but Iger's contract is for 2 years, but I give it about 6 months. And the only reason why I say that is because there's already in the mix, there are people kind of wanting to go beyond Iger and saying, what is it that can we do next? Oh, Kelly, who is responsible for the super wokeness? Okay, all right. That started with Iger. Now, people will say that started with Chapek. It started with Iger because Iger is a politician at heart. If you remember, there was a strong sense that Iger was going to run for president in the 2020 election. And he didn't. He stepped down. He stepped down. He announced his retirement, all these kinds of things. It just really didn't go his way. Part of it was he just wasn't going to get the money to be nominated. He wasn't. It wasn't the timing. It wasn't the right time. Okay. So Democrat nominee makes it in. Biden makes it in as the nominee. Okay. He's good to go because obviously Iger would have been on the Democratic ticket anyway. So that kind of fell through. Well, then Chapek comes on board. Now Chapek came in the middle of this, and you may disagree with me, and that's fine. But when you think about movies like Lightyear, Red Panda, and all these, movies don't happen in 6 months. Movies are made in 1, 2. These movies it takes 4 and 5 years to make some of these movies. That was under Iger's watch, not Chapek's watch, when those movies were actually being made. So he had to green light those things. So I think it was a mixture of both of them. I think Iger is as woke is very woke. I believe he is. He's a Democrat. He's a staunch Democrat. Chapek, I don't think Chapek was as woke, honestly, as Iger is. But Chapek, he had the few started screaming and yelling, and he caved. There was the whole Iger Chapek combination when Splash Mountain. But I'll tell you another person who's in the middle of this is Josh Tomorrow. The whole inclusion key is all under Josh Tomorrow. All that came about at the parks under Josh Tomorrow's watch. My opinion, the whole lot needs to go. Disney, the whole structure needs to be redone, including Tomorrow. I think it just needs to be reset, get rid of their secret agendas, and start afresh. And I don't think they need to leave one stone unturned, is my honest opinion. I think that entire echelon, and I honestly believe if someone came in from an outside company, that's exactly what they would do. I don't think there would be, and Disney, the interesting thing is Disney wouldn't be any better or worse for it because the people that are in there now don't have Walt Disney's vision in mind. They really don't. And that's the sad part about it. And you're right, though, Kelly. The wokeness has been just insane. Red Panda, it was kind of interesting. When Red Panda came out, I had Beck and her 2 girlfriends were over here for the weekend. And I sat down with them and we watched Red Panda. They hated that movie. I mean, I'm telling you, they still talk about how bad that movie is. and they were 12, 13, 15 at the time, so they were the target audience, and they didn't like it. I have not seen Lightyear. Rebecca saw Lightyear. She said it was okay, but nothing wild. uh just like recently Strange World has come out, same thing. Let's put in the token gay person, and no reason for the story or anything. But that movie took, what, 4 years to make? So a lot of this was under the Iger Chapek watch. So I don't think either one of them is innocent of that. Interesting. Keep political agendas out. Yes, keep political agendas out of Disney. That's exactly right. And, that was one of the things that Walt Disney himself had issue with, was getting into politics. And he had to, it was a whole different time back then, because when World War II happened, he had no choice. He had to completely pivot and retool. And in a sense, with propaganda films that kind of became a part of the political machine, but that's very different than what we see now. Then it was a national effort to defeat an enemy. Right now, it is like less than 1% of these people, of the population of the country, have this superior voice that is carrying all this weight across a company the size of Disney. That's where the problem comes in. And it had not been shown, they've been leading the public to think that it hadn't been really affecting the bottom line until it has just came out that, hey, they were manipulating the numbers. Chapek was manipulating, the CFO was manipulating them. Everybody was manipulating the numbers. And now we're seeing from the consult, like the group that's doing with a proxy war right now. What is that? I can't remember the name. The Trian group. Is the numbers are horrific. I mean, they are really, really bad when you get the gameplay out of them, for a fact. Pamela didn't like either one of them either. Yeah, she says the reason I like Iger is because he was originally there when a certain Disney Channel show was greenlit, and he was a full supporter of it. And Chapek wasn't. Unfortunately, the show was cut short. Yeah, but Iger has always been a politician, and that's one of the things that makes him good, I guess you can say, in Disney for right now, because he is a politician. But by the same token, he just lacks vision altogether. There really needs to be a Roy Walt. I know you guys have heard this probably to your blue, you're like me, blue in the face, but there really needs to be a Walt Roy combination, like there was an Eisner and what was his name? The CFO under Eisner. They were kind of a Walt Roy. There needs to be a finance person and a creative. When you're trying to, and the CEO, to make a CEO being a finance, creative, and all this, it's really hard to find anything like that. So Becca says, yeah, it was inappropriate and uncalled for. Yeah, it was. I did like Encanto. I liked Encanto a lot. I love the animation style. I love the color. I love the music. Yeah, and Encanto I really liked. And Encanto really kind of showed you where you don't have to get into these political weeds. I mean, I guess you could dissect anything, but I didn't find anything in Encanto but celebrating family. It stayed out of the weeds. Well, it's just like Strange World. If you pulled the wokeness, which is not a lot of it, but if you pulled it out of Strange World, it's a cute little movie. I mean, it's got a cute little storyline to it, nothing major. I mean, it certainly was not earth-shattering. It's not going to start a new Disney Renaissance, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, I think out of 10, I gave it a 7. It wasn't that bad. Owl House. No, I haven't heard of that. Yeah. Very true, Pam. My parents never had to worry what I'd be exposed to watching Disney. I wish I could say the same. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Particularly like the teen shows and things. Yeah, you have to be very careful. Never thought. Yeah, Kelly, you guys like us. Yeah, Encanto was fantastic. It was, and that movie was proof that you can leave wokeness out of it. And the only reason, and Encanto, I think, would have done a lot better. But it was released during the pandemic. I mean, as a matter of fact, we were watching it when we were sick with COVID that first time, Kelly, when we all had COVID. That's when Encanto came out on Disney Plus. So, I mean, it really did. There's no real matrix to measure Encanto because it didn't have a box office opening or anything like that. But I think if it would have had a box office opening, I think it'd have done really, really well. I really do. It's definitely one of my favorites. We've watched it. I don't know how many times. We even bought the record, the Encanto soundtrack record. It's just because the music in it is so good. I don't care of certain themes in the show, but I love the animation style and overall story. And that's a show. It's such a good show until they made her lesbian, referring to about wildlife, very merry COVID. Yeah, our very merry COVID celebration. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Becca, she watches a lot more stuff on Disney Plus than I do. I mean, I watch a lot of the old stuff, and it was actually, well, let's go to Avatar, like Avatar 2. Avatar 2 just was a movie for entertainment. There was no wokeness in it. It was a great movie. I enjoyed it. We went to the movie theater and saw it a week before last. I really enjoyed it. So did Becca and Susie, and you know, it didn't get into, I mean, of course you've got the save the planet and you got all that messaging, but that's been around for 40 years. When we were in grade school, we were getting that messaging, so that's nothing new. But it was fun. It was just a fun movie. Enjoyed it. It was long, but it was a fun movie. Becca, yep, that was awesome. She really, really liked it. I think I liked Avatar 2 better than the first one. Although you definitely needed the first one to get some of the second one. I didn't realize just how much until I watched the first one the other night. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Because there were a couple of things in the second one I'm going, oh, what was that again? But that was good. So anyway, going back to your original question, Kelly, is the leadership. I'm glad Iger's back. He's definitely better than Chapek. Is he the answer moving forward? No. Not well. Okay, in my humble opinion, he's not the answer. I don't think anyone in the company right now is the answer at all. I think there just needs to be a rescrubbing. It got good. I was hooked. Season 1 animation style what drew me in, but I'm going to be sad when it comes to the end of this year. They usually play it on Disney Channel, the hotel room. Yeah. So anyway, if that answers your question, but it has been really sad to see. And I don't know if you were in here earlier when I was talking about it, Kelly, but that was like, part of trying to decide about as far as our channel was, talking about Disney news, there was no good news. And I cannot support some of the direction Disney's going in. And I'm not going to support it. And so we're going to, like I said, as far as our channel is having fun, doing trivia, talking about, vintage Disney stuff, Disney history, things like that. And see, that's where I think Disney is like the rest of our country right now. It's losing its history for the sake of tolerance. And no, you can't do that. That did not work. It did not work with Rome. It's not going to work in the United States. Don't come at me, but I haven't seen Avatar other than Avatar the last. Been there on Nickelodeon. The new one is even worse though. The first one's more showing, but the new one we're not shaming and blaming it on people. I'm a little confused. I don't know who's. Okay. Remember the show above, Living with the Land, called The Circle of Life or something? I feel horrible for just being human. Yeah, well, the one in there right now is the same way. Okay, I missed that part. That the one that's in there right now is the same way. You see this amazing, beautiful videography and filmmaking, and it's just incredible. And the next thing you know, you're just trash. You leave there. I mean, I shake my head going, half of what's in that film is absolute propaganda and false at that, because I hadn't seen it in years when it first came out. So Becca and Susie went on Soarin' the last time we were at Disney, and I went in to see the film. What is it called? Something Planet? I don't even remember what it's called. And oh yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful film, absolutely beautiful, but it's not, half of it is like it's not even true. This is not true at all. Anyway, everybody has to have a cause. All righty. Well, I'm not going to do trivia tonight. We've talked a lot about that, so I'm going to head out. It is about time to get ready for bed. Tomorrow is Sunday, so that's a very big day. The new one is even worse, though. The first one's more showing, but the new one felt more shameful. Speaking of trivia, I'm ready. The Lion King one and the Lion King one in the land pavilion. Awesome. Yeah, Awesome Planet. Thank you, Becky. Yeah, Awesome Planet. And it is. I mean, it is good. The film is gorgeous. I mean, if you haven't seen it, watch the film. But I guarantee you, Kelly and Sherry, you'll be like, what? Lies. It's all lies. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up. We'll be back to do some trivia. We'll have a surprise stream probably. I know we'll be doing something probably Wednesday night. Probably before then, we'll probably do a Disney stream. I think about doing a generation like an 80s or 90s again. I've got tons of new trivia books and stuff to use, so we are set. We can do pretty much any kind of theme we want to do now. God bless you too, Kelly. Appreciate you guys. We're going to have a wonderful day tomorrow, and you guys too. And all right. Well, all right, guys. Never lose sight of this one thing. Oh, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for hanging out with Mickey Sightings. Share the stream if you would. And watch some of the old streams. We're going to get some viewing hours in. All right. Love you guys. Thank you for supporting us. And never lose sight of this one thing. It was all started by a mouse. And we'll see you real soon. Bye.